Hey guys, this is Caleb Jackson, Vice President at Barbie Jackson Insurance. I'm making a video today to just kind of go over some of the bullet points that affects your pricing for party bus insurance in the state of Nevada. I've gotten some calls lately and clients are always interested, how can I save money, what is affecting my rate? So I'm just going to kind of go over some of that stuff today. The first item is going to be whether or not you're a new venture versus someone that's had insurance in the past. If you're brand new to the business, you've just bought your shuttle bus or your limousine, your insurance is going to be a little bit more expensive than someone that's maybe had 2 or 3 years of prior insurance under their belt. The next item that goes right along with that is what your loss history has been. If you were one of those companies and you've had 2 or 3 years of prior experience, they're going to look at what your claim record is, and someone with a clean claim record versus someone that's got a couple of claims on their record, it's going to make a little bit difference in pricing. The next item, and probably the most important item in the state of Nevada, is going to be your passenger count. A non-CDL vehicle is, in Nevada at least, is 14 or 15 passengers total, and they get that passenger count by taking the passengers plus the driver. So 14 people in the back plus a driver is a 15 passenger vehicle. 15 people in the back plus a driver is a 16 passenger vehicle. A 15 passenger vehicle, as long as the vehicle itself is under 26,000 pounds, is considered a non-CDL vehicle. The 16 passenger vehicle, regardless of weight, is considered a CDL vehicle. And the reason it's so important and makes such a huge price difference in Nevada is a 15 passenger non-CDL vehicle, your liability limit required to operate is $1.5 million in liability. When you get to the 16th passenger in the state of Nevada, it jumps all the way up to a $5 million limit. So if you've got a party bus that holds 20 people, you've got to carry $5 million insurance even if you stay within a 50-mile radius inside the state of Nevada. So it's pretty important. Another factor is if you do happen to have one of those vehicles that's CDL required, it either weighs more than 26,000 pounds or if it has a 16 passenger count, regardless of the weight, and it requires a CDL driver in there, you want to make sure that your driver has the appropriate amount of experience. To get optimal pricing on a party bus quote, you want your driver to have at least 2 years of CDL experience. Sometimes it's possible to get a quote when they have less than 2 years, but it's severely surcharged, and that can make a pretty big difference on your pricing. Your radius is very important. Someone that goes 50 miles on average versus someone that goes 100 miles or 200 miles. Every time you jump a tier in radius, how far you operate, it can increase your pricing. And as important as your radius is, it's where you're located. Someone that's running Las Vegas at a congested area like that, your pricing is going to be a lot more expensive than someone that's running the same radius out of a rural area, somewhere that's not extremely congested and more prone to claims. The other thing is whether or not you have federal filings. Do you plan on staying inside of Nevada, or do you plan on leaving the state? If you have a 16 passenger vehicle, it's not as big of a jump because you already have to have the $5 million limit anyway. But if you have a non-CDL vehicle and you're running at the $1.5 million limit, and then you go to cross state lines, sometimes they can make us increase that liability limit. So whether or not you're crossing state lines can also have an impact on your pricing. The last thing I'm going to talk about today is your credit score. Credit score is extremely important in pricing. It's not explicitly laid out with a lot of our carriers, but we're finding more and more that even if it's in the background, your credit score can have an impact on your pricing, and it all kind of gets bundled together and can affect your rate. So those are the main bullet points I wanted to go over today. Again, my name is Caleb Jackson, Vice President at Barbie Jackson Insurance, and don't forget to check us out online at barbiejackson.com.